I just want to see something. Okay. So yeah, I clicked on it and then I say multiple participants. Okay, perfect. I got it now. Sorry, Bruce. I clicked on the actual arrow pointing up. Let me just close this.
Cool. So I'm going to leave the meeting now, Eddie, and let you take over because I've got other stuff to do. But
thanks, Bruce. I'll share the video with you in case you also just wanna have a look at it.
Awesome.
But thank you so much, and thanks for offering to upload the videos that I have. For me, I'm just having such a difficult time getting to actually sort them out because I'm busy with another class and so on. But I will definitely get it sorted, and the guys can always have access to it when they're busy with their project, you know?
Good stuff. Okay.
Have a good day, Bruce.
Guys.
Ciao, man. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Bruce. Bye-bye.
Tawfiq, you wanna run me what you, yeah. Talk to me, please.
Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna use my mouse to indicate, and instead of my hand, I keep making the mistake that I point at my screen when I speak.
Don't worry, when I talk on the phone and I tell my wife to buy sugar, I tell her, buy the big one like this, and she doesn't see my hands.
Yeah, I was talking to Bruce and I was doing this. And couldn't see it.
Yeah.
So in the beginning of my animation, I want to have these lines of text, but like from very far, not only 5 as shown here. Yeah, you understand.
Almost like the Matrix codes, but coming from a distance coming in.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
But at first, it's just going to look like lines, maybe. This is what I have in mind.
Yeah.
And then we zoom in, and over time, it just turns at a 90-degree angle so that we can actually read the word.
Can I ask you something based on the first one? Sorry to cut you.
Yeah.
It's just ideas. I'm gonna keep jumping on as you talk, just maybe for others to get an idea of how ideas can be interpreted by another person as to what they mean to you, right? So you're talking about it being lines first. So it could be solid lines. So from a distance, they look like bars, like security gate, right? Security, the word security. So they could represent almost like you're seeing the bars, you know, security, jail, gates, whatever, it's security. So then eventually they start fading and breaking down. And as they come closer, you realize it's actually words. So you see already by starting, you maybe played around with it. And to add more emphasis to the visual, you can add sound. So that's the beauty of animation. Sound then enhances what you're trying to get to. So it could be a sound of metal gates, maybe. Like so you already, the minute you get into the thing, you already know it's got something to do with security or being locked up, being protected. Yeah. Right? Just sorry. It's just something that sparked in my head.
No, thank you. That's very helpful. Yeah, but in addition to that animation happening, I'll have a speech bubble on the screen where I'll speak to the audience, and my animation is intended to be for an individual. So
almost like you're talking directly at somebody.
Yeah. It's like I kind of wanted it to be like what I would want to see if I picked up my phone and wanted to look at the animation on food security. So in the beginning, I'm gonna have this word. This again, I pointed this
text.
Bit. I'll have it like typed at the.
Will you be talking, like some voice?
I'm not sure.
Or do you want it? Do you want it to type so that the person reads it and not hear it?
Yeah, I want to type it out so that like over time it's going to be EVER until like it's
okay, so that's a type. You call it a typewriter. A typewriter plugin. What's nice about After Effects is they actually have already a typewriter plugin that exists into the software. You know. So you can just add it to the type, and it will, as it plays, it will just add. It will.
Yeah, like a video game is kind of like that. So that's how I have these speech bubbles play out. So I'll have the bars, as you say, and it can turn and then become food security, and then in these slides, I want to do a glitch effect of and show that it's not really security, it's food insecurity. So I have like a crossover, and
so there's going to be like
you know, the glitchy, yeah, with the static and all that, because I feel like that can make the viewer feel slightly uncomfortable,
exactly,
which is what I want them, because it's not an ideal world, as I mentioned in the slide, the next slide. So I have it fade to a black background, and then, but this is not an ideal world. Oh, because I mentioned in an ideal world. This text will also just be typed, and then I'll go.
Oh, sorry. Can you go back up to your first slide? I just saw something as you mentioned something now. Go back to the first slide. So on that, in that line, everybody would have access to sufficient amounts of food. Started, flip the sentence around. Starts with in an ideal world, comma. Everybody would have access. It has a better way of sounding, or it's just, you understand, because you're starting in a broader, like in an ideal world, everyone would have access to sufficient amount of food.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
I'm also taking notes as you're telling me.
Yeah, just flip it. Yeah. Okay.
Then I'll have these speech bubbles also speak to the viewer, and then a black screen, not for too long of a time, and then introduce
flashes.
Yeah, just like, okay, that's done. So blank screen, and then I'll mention access to food, and then I'll do a 90-degree turn. Is a human right recognized under national, and then I'll make the national the colors,
the rainbow colors.
Yeah, our flag, and then international.
You know, there's a black in there.
So that's
one black. Maybe make the L black, or the A.
Yeah.
Okay.
And international law, and then another. I'm thinking of not doing this glitch again, because there's I already made the viewer uncomfortable, so I don't know. I'll see. Yeah. I'll see. Like, as I'm doing it, maybe it won't fit in, but I'm thinking.
So at that frame where you got the glitch, just put a question mark there for you to rethink of that. That it's a transition that happens from international law to the next speech bubble. So maybe put a question mark there for you to just be alert that you need to reconsider what to go there. Ne? It's your concept. You decide what you want to put there. Yeah. And
then I'll, again, with the typewriter plugin, I'll do the next part. That's, so why is it that 9% of the population, 697 million people, are severely food insecure? And I'll make those red, those figures, and also this part at the bottom is also going to be.
Sorry, yeah, not so loud, please. Thank you. Yeah, okay.
This part's also going to be typewritten in, and I'll make these red to
emphasize them,
indicate that it's a emphasize. That's it. And then again a blank screen, and then people are dying, and then again emphasis on the red. Of starvation, 90-degree turn. I'm thinking maybe because I did this 90-degree turn already, maybe I'll do something else here, but it's just for me to
maybe not. Maybe you had a point where you keeping the same 90-degree angle, because it becomes then a language of your animation and it's consistent.
Okay.
So you don't bring in another language and then confuse it, because then it starts looking like you were trying too much, too hard. Do you understand? So sometimes you decide, okay, this is the language, this is the style, and that's that. You don't start bringing in a lot. That's the problem with people. We want to try everything that's possible, but then that actually makes the thing too confusing. You are talking about a serious, severe problem.
Yeah.
It's an issue.
Okay.
So being a little formal and being straight with it also adds to the idea of what you're talking about in the way you animate it. You get what I'm saying? Where too much this, then it's almost like you're just having fun in a serious
Yeah.
situation. You know, it's like,
I understand.
okay.
Okay, people are dying of starvation as you are watching this. And then I'll zoom in on the ing and the G and into the negative space of the white of the G. And then I'll have the bars again, reintroduced, and then I'll turn them again into the 90-degree angle. And this time it's going to be saying food insecurity instead of food security, as mentioned previously.
Sorry,
And
question.
my speech,
Yeah, go back up a little bit. One slide up. Yeah, right there. Can I, this one here, the people are dying of starvation.
yeah.
Right? The one where it starts slanting. So the word people,
Oh, this one, yeah.
the word people, what you do is you break it up. So P-E-O-P-E-P-L-E, it's all singular letters that represent people because we're all different, right? So what you start doing is randomly letters starts disappearing, not going behind dying, but they just literally like shrink and disappear, but then a cross erects, which represents death or graveyards, if it's in a way. So it's almost like people are dying. So the word people, the letters of people randomly just starts almost like going down, but then a cross, like or what you call a tombstone cross thing starts popping. So now the word people 246, 6 of those have now little crosses because there's no more people. It's just the graves left, because when we die, there's nothing of us left besides just the tombstone, which then our families go and, sorry, my son is busy typing. Give me the keyboard. You can't, no, you're not working, I'm sorry. Sorry, yeah. Thanks, boy. Yeah, sorry, guys.
It's okay. I relate. I have 2 nephews here as well, so.
Just press, man. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Sorry, guys. It's difficult here every day with this. I stay alone with them, so it's crazy. Yeah.
I understand. Bruce also said that we're not allowed to use any sort of imagery. We're strictly supposed to only use words. So
that got confusing to me, because when I spoke to him last week, I thought, because based on the one video that he sent to me, I think he shared it with you guys. There was an example of the video that he shared with me with type and everything happening. There were some graphics added with the text, right? So but, I actually then assumed you guys can add graphics to the type, but it's cool. We keep a text and it's cool. But you can still then do that. The word people then can literally start randomly vanish down, almost like it's going under. Yeah. Because then they are no people. So it's like, what? People are gone. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I wanted to say with the tombstone, with the cross thing, you could even use a specific font.
Exactly. T. Yeah.
It could also work as a tombstone.
Yeah. Because you get a straight T, like a straight one that doesn't have a curve. Ne? Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just like, yeah, because that's not bringing, not an actual tombstone, just the Also, it represents an X.
Sort of effect as well.
Yes. And as it turns, it's actually an X, and an X means to be sliced out, to be cut out. You are removed.
So that could work as a transition as well, with the T and can just slant over something in the 90-degree effect that you're going with.
That's perfect. Thanks, Z. That's
Thank you, Z.
Yeah. So you're not bringing in a graphic, you're using type as a graphic.
Like the video as well about what's he building there, that video. Uses only fonts and typography.
That are treated. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Hey man. Sorry. Yeah. Go on to fix. Sorry.
So after we zoom into the G and then we zoom into the white space of the G, we're going to see our bars again. And they're going to say food insecurity this time. And our speech bubble will say, we clearly have a problem. And then food insecurity will dim into a white screen.
What will
and
you
then
do?
I'll ask in a black
Typing
text
again.
now, almost like, yeah, it's typing, but it's like in a different tone of voice. This is what I'm thinking, because here it was a black background to type, and here it's a white background. I just this feeling it's going to be slightly different.
Okay.
As a feeling to the viewer, what will you do to help? And then I have two white. Well, this the reason I put two white screens
frames
here is because I wanted to pause on white so that
to think.
Yeah, the viewer must think, is that the end of the video? What will I do to help? And then I'll know.
Please.
Write, yeah, please help. How
also,
can you help?
Yeah. Also, in the first, what will you do to help? You will type it and pause after do. What will you do? And there's like a slight pause to help. You understand? So it's like, what will you do to help? You understand? So the same after please. You type please, and it's almost like the next line is beeping a little bit, and then help.
Definitely.
You know, so it's almost like somebody is with a heavy heart asking for help. It's those little pauses, little things that adds that emotional empathy thing to the video, you know?
Yeah, that's basically my storyboards and the idea that I have.
Here it is. Pick up those bananas before you fall. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, sorry. So that's where it ends. Let me see what's on this. How can you help avoid wasted food in general, and about food banks and communities, invest your time into the NGO. So there's no logo, there's no NGO of any sort that this is directed to, right?
I asked Bruce if I should, and he said rather not at this point because we're still at the planning stage. So this can just
it could always be.
Yeah, it can always be worked on later.
Okay,
that's what Bruce told me. Also, this first line in the last slide, I want to make it. How can you
help?
How you as an individual can help? Because I intend for it to be for just the common person.
Yeah.
Because I do mention avoid wasting food in general. Yeah.
Question though, that last slide. I'm busy boy. So the top line maybe can be like a title in the middle which says how you can help. And then the others can just be like points. You know, the one is suggesting this is what you can do to help. 1, 2, 3. So so the one is bigger and it's different from the other 3 lines. So that it's not just the same things. You know what I'm saying? Think of it if you were doing it in a design form, how you can help is in bold because it's the emphasis, and then the others are just the bulleted forms that is what you can do to help. You know?
Definitely. Yeah.
We aim to combat food insecurities. I mean, you can also add there, start community gardens as groups. That's one thing that I actually started doing about a few years ago as well, where I went and I met with these churches that have these big yards, big, massive spaces. And there was this one where they very poor community. And I asked the bishop of the church, why don't you start a garden? The church is sitting in the front part of the yard, and there's such a massive empty space, literally empty. The cars don't even reach to that side of the yard, and it's empty. Like nobody will ever use that space. It's just dead space. And I asked them, why don't they put nets and grow food? And my reason for being that is I went to visit the church because there was like a funeral there. And I saw that when people left, most people don't talk to each other. They just literally walk out and they just get in their cars and they're in a rush to go home. And I realized this is a community. It's meant to be a community where you feel like you're welcome. There's like a team thing, but people were not interested to actually spend time to find out, hey, how you been? How's your health or whatever. And I found that if they grew a garden, and that's because I love gardening and I've always started this community gardens with like friends of mine. And I said, why don't you guys start a garden so that on a Sunday after church, the community goes or the congregation goes and they walk around the garden and they only take little bit of what they need. And they're actually the same people who contribute to the garden. So the same people come during the week and they just plant new seedlings or new cuttings. And then after 2 months, that stuff is big. And if I need spinach or tomatoes, I only take what I need for that day and the others. And in that space, people are actually starting to also share personal stories. So I can find out how you've been, how's your mom, how's your dad, you know, so it becomes more like a family community thing instead of just coming to church, listen to church, put your money in a bucket and then go home and then you continue with your own life, you know? So it could be maybe just starting community gardening. It's something that's really big. I even tried starting it at CPUT because we used to have horticulture and there's still a greenhouse right at the back of our building on campus there behind the white church, Moravian church. And there's nothing happening there. I think street people are starting to sleep inside that greenhouse actually because there's quite a lot of people staying on that little hill there next to the university. And I asked, why don't you guys start a community garden so the same street people staying right next to campus can actually get food from there, you know? Because it will reduce the crime. Like if I'm full, I have less time to think about crime or robbing you. But if I'm hungry, the only thing I can think of is what am I going to eat next? And it leads me to doing really crazy stuff, you know? So it's just like small little things that you can do that can make a bigger difference in the mindset of people or whatever. You
Definitely,
know? Yeah, thank you so much. That is actually cool. I think it's cool to just share the one, and then I'm going to take you guys through how you can get this started. So, Taufik, question. You did this whole thing in Illustrator, right?
Yeah.
Illustrator.
Yes.
Is everybody else doing their planning and the design? I call this design, the design in Illustrator. Perfect. So I'm going to show you guys something now. Taufik, I'm just going to...
I can stop my screen share.
It's cool. I've stopped it now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I'm going to show you now what you would, the way you would go about it, okay? I'm going to share now quickly. So firstly, let me just open my Illustrator. I'm going to get rid of all these things because you guys just told me now that I don't need them because I had planned this for you guys' purpose, okay? So it's security. I'm just going to do it in the one line for you guys to get an idea, okay? So with After Effects, you need to question yourself on what will be animating before you start animating it. So looking at Taufik's board, he has the word security, which then eventually adds the word in front of it. I'll actually do it in small, and he changes the color and he makes it, I'm gonna make it red. I'm just gonna use this as a thing. And then I'm gonna make this bigger so that it's just like a graphic. Okay, so let me just put this up here. Yeah, there we are. So let me just get my screen to be a little lower. Perfect, yeah. It's mostly, so everything you're doing, can you guys see my Illustrator? Perfect. So
I can see it.
All right, thanks. The one thing that you're doing here the most is working in layers. So as you can see, everything is in one layer, okay? Everything that you've probably placed on all those pages is in one layer, right? If you look at your layers in Illustrator, right, Taufik? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Now you can just put your thumb up because I can see only U, Z, and V. Leland is decided he's still in bed, so he doesn't want me to see his face, so it's cool. There you are. I told you. You see how fast he jumped out of bed? You see his bed is right behind him. He came like, say hello. Cool. I'll see you, Nana. Go check what Lisha is doing. So the trick is here. Okay, I'm gonna again show you another screen quickly. Can you guys see this one? No? Let me just go back into Zoom. And I'm gonna stop mute. I'm gonna stop the sharing here quickly. And then I'm gonna share another screen with you guys, just a quick one. Okay, can you guys see my, this After Effects open on my screen? This is how After Effects look. If you guys haven't gotten into After Effects yet, I'll do a quick run about of After Effects, okay? But all I wanted to show you is, as you can see here on my screen, I've got layers, okay? The one says top head, and the one says bottom jaw. So for me to make this guy do this the whole time, I had to find a way to draw and split him from an actual picture. So this is Chester. He's a puppet that is very political. You guys who have seen him on thing, yeah. So the owner of Chester is one of my clients, Conrad, and I do a lot of work for him, design work. So because of the lockdown and the COVID-19, they can't have shows anymore, meaning they're not making any money. So he tried to make a solution with his brothers, you know, the other comedians, where they now have a show online. So this is for a little face that just keeps talking at the bottom of his TV show. And, you know, like in the news, the news, they've got like a title at the bottom, a strip, and then there's constantly like text, current news moving there and whatever with a logo. So this is just Chester, who's just talking nonstop at the bottom while they're having their comedy show on Zoom. They literally have comedy shows on Zoom like this. You can drink it like this. Cool. Okay. So sorry guys, I gotta be a dad and be a this. There's nothing in there though. Thank you. Bye bye. So you gotta plan what's gonna be animating. Okay, so this is just one of them. So I also have the front face where he opens his mouth and a title comes out of his mouth. So that's the opening title. All had to be planned, how to draw them and how to animate it. So after a lot of thinking, I thought to myself, you know what? How do we talk? There's a jaw. Our jaws, the bottom jaw is connected to the top jaw only here, somewhere here on our face, right? And that's why my bottom jaw can move. It's not the top jaw that moves, by the way. It's only your bottom moves. And I had to learn that by doing this. I was like literally looking in a mirror, like, and I was like, how do I talk? What actually moves? Because first I thought it's the top face that moved. And I realized it looks funny because his head was doing this. But when we talk, we're not doing this. We're not Indian people, you know, like, so, so I thought, wait, so all it is the bottom jaw. But to draw the bottom jaw, I had to think, okay, how do I draw it in front and draw the back section of it, you know? So that's why I have a pin. You will see there's a pin over there. And on the top head, the pin is over there as well, which I can move. I can move this pin wherever. And when now, if I move this, it only moves according to that pin, where it's positioned. And that's what, you know, is one of the key things about animation is you need to ask yourself what gets animated. Rosh, can I finish this, please? They're waiting for me, ne? Ask Lishay to help you, please. So planning is key. So I'm gonna go back quickly to Illustrator, then I'll come back here again. I just wanna share this one. Okay, so far, all this is in one layer. Okay. I'm going to place this in another layer. So I select all, create a new layer, and drag only what's selected with this little block to that layer. So now those icons I don't need anymore because you guys just told me that they are not part of what we're doing. Now the next thing I need to do is this. Shaya? Okay. Just give me a moment, please. Ask Lishay to help you. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So now you need to ask yourself, how will this be animating? And if I can remember what you just showed us, you've got some text that's like flipped and some is sitting a certain way. So I'm just gonna do that quickly. I'm just gonna cut. I'm done with this. I'm gonna convert this to what you call graphics. So it's no longer type. Okay, this is just me doing it my way because I want to design this. So I select the word what because it's going to be animated as a full word. I select the word is, it's going to be animated as a full word. I select food, it's going to be animated. And security, it's one word, where in is another word, right? It's on its own. Again, they are still all in one layer. Okay. So now I can actually start positioning and designing this however I want. I can also, because it's a graphic, I can actually take the direct selection tool and I can even tweak and make my text differently. Let's say I just want to play with it without graphics. I can still be creative with how I do it. You know, I can maybe say it's gonna look like this. I'm doing this from the top of my head, by the way, so just bear with me. I select only those, I position them here, and then I take another one and I create a little graphic here. Okay, so guys, you don't have to do what I'm doing, but I'm just showing you how you can then make your, okay, so now I'm starting to just have like some form of a graphic. Let's say that's how it's going to be playing. Okay, so you do your design, your overall, whatever is going to end up in the end, whatever your animation is going to be in the end, you create it here the way you would like to see it in the end when it's animated. Okay. Once you've done all that, remember all this are grouped, right? All this is groups, sorry. This is a group that's on its own. It's a red dot. It's just gonna appear somewhere, okay? Food could be, again, slanted. It could maybe come in like that. So let's say when it's done, oh, by the way, this is another thing that is interesting about this project. You can end up in the end when your camera zooms out and it's finished animating what is food security. You can end up with your text, your overall writing, making an image of food. It could be an apple. It could be, think about it like that. So the way the type is positioned, when you look at it, it gives it an image that is like an apple. Or I'm only thinking of an apple because my son is busy chopping up an apple there. I don't know where he got it. But so it could end up as that. So you do that design here in Illustrator and you position and you flip your text and you position it in a shape of what looks like food. Okay, so this would be something like that. So it makes up some form of an image, you know. Actually, this is wrong. Let me do this. And Jaya, help him, please. Yeah. Everybody who's going to watch this video afterwards will be like, who is Anjaya? Who's this guy talking to? Anyway. So you see, so it's a design of some sort. It's just, let's say that's the design I want to work with, okay? But that's going to be in the end. And let's say in the beginning is just what is food security, what is whatever. So I've got this all in one layer. What I need to do now is in this layer here, I need to right click. What's going on here? Sorry, let me just minimize you guys here. There we are. Yeah, you're at the bottom now, so that's cool. Yeah, and Jaya, sorry. Ask Lishay to change him, please. And then you click on the layer that you've got all your things on. You go to the drop-down menu and say release to layers in sequence. Okay, you need to click that. So watch what happens now. Let me undo quickly. Before I released it, you can see that this has the word rectangle because I drew a rectangle over there, that red. It has a group. So you'll see all the individual groups that are made. See that? And this is just a background on its own that I created. By the way, guys, you also need to specify on Illustrator. Sorry, I didn't start there. I keep assuming you guys are in 4th year. You should know this. Jaya, please ask Lishay to help him right now, please. So you need to decide what size is your document. Okay, what size is your document? And you start by going to File, New. Firstly, you're working on a screen. So it's not any of this 3 here. You're working only with mobile or web. I'm gonna click on web or film or this one here. Sorry, actually this is one of the other ones. I'm using, for my one, you can either use HDV 720 because that's more like your YouTube size, or you can go directly to the highest one. So that's your HDTV. Don't go 4K, we're not there yet. Okay. So at the moment, I'm working with this one. You guys can also work with this one because this one is nicer to send on your phones. So it looks much better on your phones, okay? I just like to work with a bigger one because then I can start exporting down from a high quality. Okay, but it also depends on your system. How strong, how powerful is your machine? Okay, so I'm working with that. I give it a name here already. I call it type animation. You can call it food security if you want to, and create. So you will have a blank page. What I do firstly is on this blank page, I just create a frame over the entire back. I make sure that it fits. And that's my background, just so that I know what I'm working with. Whether you want it black or white, it's up to you. And then I just lock that and I create now a new layer. Now I'm working, I can call this my artwork or artwork. And then that's what I'm gonna be working on. So I can't do anything to this background because it's locked, right? So that's all you gotta do. Leave it, please. So you've got that, you've got layers. Watch what happens here on this layer when I go to layer, drop down, release to layers. It's no longer rectangle, group. It's now layers. Can you see that? It's labeled it layers. Now what you need to do is you need to select only those layers underneath layer 2. You select them like this with a selection, with a shift key selected. I only selected the layers under layer 2. Now I drag it, watch that, over there. Okay. So now they are released. They are no longer layers or groups under layer 2. Now I can actually delete layer 2 because it's empty. Now everything that I have here, it's a layer on its own. You see that? It's not sub layers under one layer. It's now individual layers. And if you want, spend some time. I prefer to do this. I spend time renaming them. Just double click on the word is food in, Buddha, asking Jaya to help you, please. Question mark, square, and Jaya, help your brother. Jaya, ask Lishay to help him, please. Yeah, go to Lishay Roshan. Then, so that one is out. I don't need that. So you see what's happening. Everything is a layer. Okay. Tawfiq, for your purpose, you want your words to be typed. Then those words that as type needs to be in After Effects. In other words, you need to type your words in After Effects. And I'll show you how you can do that. So you can type it on After Effects and you can still position it however you want. Okay, because then it's type, it's active type that you can tell to act as a typewriter. So it will, so your words will appear as they're being typed. But for what you want to animate, just appearing or flying in or zooming in or popping in based on the emotion you want to create with that animation of whatever you're doing, you need to then plan it here. Hence why I said plan it, and so on. Okay. So I've got that. And I've already created a location where I'm saving mine. But what you can do is, for you, if you're starting fresh, I've created a advanced diploma, tech 2020. I've got term 2 motion graphics. I've got food security animation. And that's where I'm saving my FS animation. Okay. And I say save. So I've got that one and I've got that one. There's 2 of them. The one is empty and the other one is just, you know. So once I've saved it, I'm okay. This name, by the way, guys, please never ever do this. I need you to just remember one thing. You cannot go and move it to another folder. You cannot change the name once you've done this. You need to leave it as it is. And I'll explain why. Because once you go into After Effects, you will then link this file to your After Effects project. And that's where you would be animating it. But should you come back and want to add something else, add more layers here, you do not want to change that name, because you need to be able to change whatever, save it, go back to After Effects, and if it's linked properly, it will automatically update it. Sometimes it will not do that, and you need to tell it to update, as in replace that file, and it will update this file into After Effects without you having to start from scratch and drop it in again. So remember, you want to work super smoothly. You don't want to give yourself headaches. You don't want to stress yourself. You want to always plan and work your stuff thoroughly. Ne? So let me just do this quickly. So far, so good. You guys want to ask any questions? Not any? Okay, cool.
I have a question about the folder where all of them go into with the Illustrator document. It's going to be the Illustrator document and the
After Effects.
Yeah, just the folder like that. So if I want to move the folder, say, to work on a different...
Oh, no, perfectly. You only move the folder.
Yeah, just the whole folder.
The whole folder. Yeah, no, perfect. Okay, cool. Perfect. No, that is similar. Rosh, I can't do it. Ask Lishay to help you crack them. I'm busy, please. I can't crack nuts now. No. So you, please. Dada is busy. Look, I've got class. I can't help you now, please. So you, InDesign works exactly the same. You always have your folder that you create, and that's why I create folders before I do anything. I have a job folder. You call it a job folder, and everything that has to do with that job cannot be in another folder. It only goes in the one folder. It makes sense. Because should you just want to move something, always remember to move the entire folder. You don't go and, let me move that After Effects file. No, you take the entire thing. Okay. So I've already created that. So now watch what's going to happen. I come to After Effects. Even though I have another project opened here, I'm going to go and say File, New. But I'm going to do this as if you guys are starting from scratch. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close my After Effects. I'm not going to save this file. Okay. So we're starting from scratch. I go and I look for my After Effects. Okay. I'm waiting for it to load. To load. Let me just ask somebody to help my kid here quickly. Okay, guys, it's open. Good.
Your screen share is still on Illustrator.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to that now. So
okay,
I'm just gonna reshare, stop sharing, and then I'm gonna share now my, yeah. So